In 1976, Welsh hard rockers Budgie released their sixth studio album. If I were Brittania, I'd waive the rules. Funny play on an old idiom. Yeah, and from it, the closing epic, Black Velvet Stallion. Hear the bell, church bell. That kind of guitar tone reminds me a little bit of what Robin Trower was doing around this time, or like in City Dreams. That you are gone, chasing a wind song. Kind of like a thick, sort of like watery distortion. Be my son. Okay, maybe not so thick yet, but it will be. Oh, staying in the same key center but altering the key. We just heard like a power chord, like an E. I think just yeah. Basically just an open fifth, and then they add in some other notes. Put like a suspended note. This is kind of like a pensive number that's going to slowly build. Let's see where the lyrics are going. Black Velvet Stallion, you are gone, chasing a wind song, be my son. Always here wondering, hoof beats are thundering through me, maybe you're running from me. Okay, so this person has really taken to a horse. Yeah. Okay, now we land just like a half step above our main chord. And suggesting somewhat of a tension that's going on with the narrator and the subject. Okay, so far I'm gathering that the narrator wants this stallion as a pet. Such a foreboding quality that's going on here, because it's like you get a sense that it's gonna like explode at some point, but right now we just have that kind of like shadowy bass that's going like bum 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 bum, and that tss, 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 tss of the cymbal that would kind of like suggest like walking feet. There's just kind of like a shadowy. It's kind of like you wonder if both the narrator and the stallion that he's trying to, court are in danger. Black Velvet Stallion, are you near me? Carry me away from my fear. Now we just tense up slightly, more of a closed cadence, more of a kind of gruff frontal riff. Yeah, it goes from like basically just like a rock voicing chord with no major or minor, just like a tonic and a fifth, and then it becomes like a full like minor chord, minor chord version of E. Notice how it's gotten a bit louder now, indicating that we're maybe kind of getting more into the thick of it, that the big blow up is about to occur. And the drumming is a bit more like forceful too.
while you are living.
Okay, where are the lyrics going? Son of an Arab, Mar, roaming on solid air and free. While you were living, be free. Some beautiful imagery. Yeah. This band always had really great covers. Although I cannot really say that I don't know if it was like regular of them to have at least one track that tied in with the cover art. But if that's the case on this album, it's definitely not this track because the cover features three, I guess, birds representing the kind of like half human, half bird type creatures with big wings on back and like space helmets. Yeah, like eagle faces. Yeah, like half man, half eagle type creatures. Representing the band members. Oh, that slicing kind of searing guitar, giving somewhat of a chilling effect, amid the very kind of foreboding atmosphere. Oh, the way it's going from like holding kind of like these sustained single notes and then throwing in like a bit of fills, a bit of fast, low, like, but basically like kind of just like over like one or two notes. This track is really showing quite great economy with a single like chord or two and just trying to like maximize the kind of dark atmosphere of that.
Black velvet stallion, be alone. Send me a messenger.
And notice how faint his voice is, how kind of far off his voice is. It kind of like almost indicates that he's crying out to something, that he's really not where he wants to be, that he's not really present. It's almost like he's reaching out for someone. He needs this stallion to come.
Are we home?
Let's see. Black Velvet Stallion, Be Alone, Send Me a Messenger, Call Me Home. Yeah, indicating kind of like almost like the man is lost.
Pictures and silhouette, spending a bed on me.
Okay. Pictures and silhouettes, spending a pirouette on me. Pirouette, that's a ballet term. Yeah, like spinning on one leg. Yeah. Maybe you're coming to me.
Maybe you're coming to me.
I wonder what inspired this track and how it came together.
Velvet stallion,
Because it's so like minimal and dark for a hard rock. For what bands like this were doing around the time. Like, I just can't really compare it to anyone.
you're my child. Flower of tenderness.
It's like you would hear there were more songs like this being done like in the early '80s. Yeah, by not necessarily in the vein of hard rock. It's like by then Budgie were kind of like walked alongside the new wave of British heavy metal for a time. But like I'm thinking I'm thinking more kind of in the post punk realm, would explore this kind of dark, moody atmosphere with pensive arrangements and such. But then again, I'm also hearing other elements like that I mentioned earlier, like particularly in the guitar tone.
growing wild.
Yeah, it's very atypical of hard rock to just let kind of like a slow, pensive, single note bass line to and just like a really to dominate so much the length of a song.
Cut through my wilderness. No one would ever get your
It was rare for anyone to do that kind of arrangement back during this era.
what I am seeing is me.
Oh, it actually goes up like a step and then drops half a step and then back to the regular chord like E, F sharp, F, E. Yeah, like that. So it's barely moving. It's just really being confined tonally. Let's see, more of the lyrics. Black Velvet Stallion, you're my child, flower of tenderness, growing wild. Look through my wilderness, no one would ever guess you're me. What I am seeing is me. This is interesting. I don't really know what to make of this other than that the narrator feels a real connection to this black stallion. Like almost wants to adopt it as his own child, really, kind of like almost like take a more like modern day definition of dog ownership, of pet ownership. People that today don't really call themselves as pet owners anymore. These days they call themselves dog dads, dog moms, cat moms and such. Yeah, taking that concept, taking it back to the 1970s and applying it to a guy with a special connection for a horse. Now, granted, the plot to the song may be based in another era. It might be like medieval or something. Some really beautiful, like, kind of poetic couplets in this. Yeah, I mean, this guy feels such a connection to this stallion that it's almost like he almost sees it as his own flesh and blood. I'm that's what I'm taking some of those lines to mean. Sort of echoey guitar right here. Once again, I'm getting more of kind of like an early 80s vibe from this. Kind of like a post-punk vibe, or like sounds that could have maybe been heard like on an early U2 album, or like maybe like an early Psychedelic Furs album. Okay, this is getting more into a different territory guitar-wise, more like hard rock. I love that slicing, cutting guitar sound. Like that, it's like the lead guitar is like fighting for more freedom from this rather pensive confined. It's like the guitar is like trying to work its way out of the situation, this dark, place that we're in, this uncertain, foreboding environment. Or I could be wrong. Maybe that guitar represents the menace that's kind of been lurking in the dark somewhere all this time. Hear that scaling, hear it just like rip it up right here. Yeah. Okay, the lineup on this album: Burke Shelley, bass guitar, vocals; Tony Bourge, guitar. Yeah, that's Tony Bourge, I guess we're hearing right there, really ripping it up, and Steve Williams, drums. It's amazing. We're now like almost 7 minutes in. I don't think it's really gonna. I don't think the overall rhythmic backdrop and like tonal backdrop is really gonna break out of this place that we've been in this whole time. I kind of just have a feeling like the guitar is just gonna represent a certain kind of madness at this confinement, this dark, desolate. It's amazing how much you can move around in just a single note. Amid the backdrop of just like a single note, like just E, nothing but E, just bum bum, bum bum. Something unexpected is emerging. Oh, that just kind of like rising, yeah, like. I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have done that. Let's see. A very unexpected way to go, considering where we've been. Well, that was a very unorthodox number by any yardstick. Yeah. Budgie, Black Velvet Stallion, the very dark, foreboding, epic, off their 1976 album. If I Were Brittania, I'd Waive the Rules. Their 6th studio album overall. And, yeah, they had been cranking it out since 1971. And they would continue on until 1982, releasing 4 further albums, yeah, between 1978 and 1982. Yeah, for more, and just, yeah, what can I say? It was just a very different experience. I I'm just amazed that they were able to create such a unique, kind of in its own way, captivating, somewhat spooky, kind of haunting vibe in just a single note, basically, and foreboding tap of the, you know, metal, and just after some faint vocals and, you know, singing beautiful words, this guitar just kind of slowly emerges and starts fighting its way through the fog and murk and darkness of the situation, and just boom, and there it goes. Yeah. No, like, resolution in the formal sense or in the classic sense. Yeah, unparalleled. For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of Budgie, see the directory of albums by Welsh artists linked in the description below for red hot tracks and purples from all of the Budgie albums, as well as various other bands from that small little part of the western island of Britain. Yeah, bands like Racing Cars, Blonde on Blonde, yeah, John Cale. Yeah, I guess I'm going a little bit blank right now, just kind of thinking about that track. But yeah, about 150 titles on there, roughly. Yeah, from Welsh artists from the late 1960s to the mid 1980s. Like and subscribe and follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the track we just heard. Well, basically the layers created by the three main instruments in there, the mood, the tension, the foreboding, dark quality of it all, how it resonated with you, the somewhat, well, the very beautiful lyrics, yeah, and your interpretations of what the lyrics meant. Oh yeah, and what you thought of that guitar solo, yeah, and how the whole thing resolved, and if there are any comparisons you would make between this track and another song out there, yeah. Anyway, until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.